Hello, hello. Happy Monday, October 20th, 2025. How is everybody? It is a cold day here in Wisconsin. DP version 2, good morning. Russell, Juicy, PB, good evening, good afternoon. A heck of a day today, huh? Amazon, AWS down for much of the morning. I managed to get, of course, my shipping application runs off of Glenn. Hello. Uh, Uses AWS for some of its portion of its application, and Gabriel, hello. So I was fortunate. So if you place an order with me, they did eventually go out, but it was taking in some instances 5-10 minutes to process a shipment. It was just ridiculous. And then the next shipment would be like 10 seconds. And then, and I got everything done except for one non-order shipment that I really, really wanted to get out. But yeah, they thought they had it fixed with another issue. Yeah, it's still not. And so like, if you use ShipStation, that's just not working at all now. Good afternoon, Hans. How are you? So, but it is what it is. So, you gave up on shipping today? Yeah, okay. Um, I thought I was gonna get it, and I had the package all ready and good to go, and then I was getting delays trying to create the order, and then it finally created the order. I thought, this is great. I'm gonna have it, and my mailman literally came in um, as I was trying to do this, and he's like, "Well," he goes, "that sucks. I'll be here for like another 30 seconds. So if it happens, um, then pop your head out and run me down." But I've been trying since noon to get one package shipped, and it's just not working. Happy Pelican Week. Yeah, that's right. It is. It's Pelican Hub this Friday, and that's exciting. We're trying a new location here. So if there's anybody here that is coming to the Appleton Pelican Hub, it's kind of close to downtown, and it's actually like an old house that has been converted to be used for events and meetings and group sessions and things like that. So I've never been there, so I don't know how good or how bad it is going to be. But we'll see. The parking is for sure probably going to stink. But we were kind of out of options, I guess, for good places to go on a Friday. So, but we got all our goodie bags set up for the hubsters. And we noticed this year that in years past, Pelican has given the ink of the year as a gift. If you have extra ink, I have room for it. I'll even send a shipping label. They've given ink of the year, and this year they didn't do that. They've kind of sent we got like a mixture of, I think it was topaz, mandarin, and something else. I forget what the other one was. So it's a total crapshoot what you're going to get, which I guess is sort of okay. I didn't really want the ink of the year anyway, but and being that I was here, I got to pick which one I got. But Most people aren't, you're not going to know what you're going to get until you get there. So there's going to be, I'm hoping there's going to be swapping. I hope people are cool about it, because we don't, it sounds like when you scrounge around in your parts bin. Yeah. Yeah. We have no control over it. They just sent us a box, and we didn't know until last week that they weren't all the same. In fact, there were a couple of hub masters that were even indicating that they would swap if anybody locally in Wisconsin wanted to swap bottles. They were open to meeting up so they could swap. So we'll see. Yeah, whatever shows up goes in the bag. Yeah, that's it. But the sad fact of it is people are going to complain. Somebody's going to complain about a free gift. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So let's see. Up the street from you is the Old Stone Church has been turned into an events facility. That's cool. The membership of the church got so small that they merged with another church and sold the older building. Okay. It's free. Yeah, no complaints. Yeah. But you know what I mean, though. Intentionally done by Pelican, or they had issue. I don't know. I can imagine it could be any of a number of factors. Maybe they don't want to be giving away the ink of the year when they could be selling it. Maybe they had overstock of the other colors. You heard they wanted to clear out backstock. I mean, that could be, yeah. I mean, and the other part of it is you have all these people going to Pelican Hub. Who's going to buy the new color if they're not, if they give it all away? I mean, I get that. But they sort of set a precedence over the past number of years by giving out the color of the year. So I don't know. We'll see. It will be fine. It will be fine. It will be cool to hang out with a bunch of people, and surely some folks out of town. So it's going to be it'll be a fun little event. It takes place of our regular pen club meeting, which actually is kind of cool because it means I get a Sunday free. I don't have to go to a pen club on Sunday. So yeah, that's coming up. A little bit of news for those on the Twitch side. I actually went and did the affiliate thing today. So there will be some ads running on the hour. So we'll get up and we'll stretch and use the restroom and get some fluids or whatever. But you will see those pop up. I'll try to run them in the beginning, and it's a little bit of a learning curve on my part. So we'll get that ironed out. But if I do them in the beginning, then I don't think we have to. Indy, good afternoon. Then I don't think we have to worry about them for an hour. So we'll see how it works out. And my apologies if that's not to your liking. But the time has come. The time has come. I put it off as long as. Here's the most interesting pen of the day. Ad immediately starts. Yeah, so I have been able to set up my my screen here on OBS to remind me when the next and we're going to do it in 3-minute blocks. That's enough to get up and you whatever, get a snack, get a beverage or whatever. So it does tell me in 52 minutes and 47 seconds there's another block that's gonna roll out. I do have an interesting pen to show today. So anyway, that's that. And I think YouTube. I think I can never know because I don't watch myself live, obviously. But I think YouTube's already pushing out ads anyway. So, all right. A lot of stuff since last week. Friday, I hit. If you watched the podcast on Friday, I hit an estate sale in my area. I had gone and pre-registered on Thursday, and so I was numbered 19 on the list, which was not too bad, but I think next time I'll do it a little differently. And I was able to find out exactly where the pens were. So because I had a picture of them on my phone, and they were next to, jewelry and da 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 da. And so I was able to find them out. And as they set it up, it turns out they let people in through the garage, and it was garage and basement sale. Nothing in the house, because actually the people whose house this was were actually in the house during the sale, which I thought was very weird. I wouldn't want to do it that way. I mean, I'd have gone shopping or something, gone on a bike ride, get out of Dodge. But I could see the table. I finally found it, and I could see the table, and it was literally, it was a 3-second walk from the place where they let you in to the table. I mean, not even 3 seconds. I could probably do it in 2. A couple big steps, and it was right there. And I grabbed up all the pens, and it was a very successful estate sale. So we'll show those in a minute. We got some pens, new client pens. You'll like that in shopping. I want to know where what I'm looking for. No, not just browsing. Yeah. So, are you supposed to be dead to have an estate sale? Yeah, I know, right? I don't know. It could have been. Sometimes around here they call things estate sales, even if they're like a moving sale or a downsizing sale, or maybe somebody's moving into a assisted living facility or something. That they'll just call it an estate sale. Maybe it was family. I don't really know. I really don't know. But yeah, I like to have a game plan whenever possible. It's definitely a game. I like to be able to, if I have a picture. Yeah, it might have been family living in the house. That's what I was kind of hoping it was, or it could have been a spouse that passed, and then the other spouse is getting ready to move with family or assisted living. I mean, who knows? But I like to be able to know exactly where in the house the pens are. If I see pens in a picture, I try to figure out what room is it. Is there a window there? Is there a chair? And that's how I do it. So anyway, we've got those to show off. I've got a nice gift that came in the mail today, a cool pen. And I've got some new consignment pens today that came in, and I have not looked at them yet. So we'll take a look at those all together at the same time. So let's focus this first. All right, so here's what we got. We'll get into this in a little bit. And then I've got the pens from last week and more and more and more. So this, we'll do this one first. Ron here, estate sale usually means an outside company is being paid to do the sale. Yeah, this was definitely a company. It's a local company. I'm on their mailing list. I've just never ever gone to this particular company's mailing list, or this particular company's estate sale. Yeah, so this I want to give a shout out to Ron for passing this on. He knows I like hard rubber pens, and I like vintage eyedroppers. And this is an outstanding example of a screw cap Saul's Brothers eyedropper. So it's a screw cap, and this chasing and this color is exceptional. And there it is, all in its glory, all 5 pieces of it here. Nice imprint. I mean, it's beautiful. It has been used, but it was not used much. Clearly, nice warranted 14 karat nib. But a screw cap, just really great. So thanks, Ron, for sending this along. I will treasure it and put it in my collection. So I love these things. I don't know why. I just do. They're just super cool. So, and actually, we should show that. I mean, just show how crisp this chasing is. I mean, you can see the The imprint is just outstanding. So, yeah, very crisp, very crisp. Not, I mean, this is what hard rubber is supposed to look like. It's what it originally looked like, right? So I would give it the smell test. All right, so we got that. Let's see, I'm gonna put that somewhere. I'll put it over in this tray, I guess, for now. Here are my notes. These are this essentially is the spoils of war for the estate sale. Let's get these out of the way. I just think these are hilarious. This is, what does it say? The talk of the town. Drink Rar's Elk's Head beer. Rar Brewing Company, Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Brand new pencil, brand new old pencil. There's two of them. How fun is that? Yeah, that Saul's lived in the dark. It for sure did. Let's do the karate pin. This one, I think, we've got a replacement crown on here, but interesting eclipse. Mechanical pencil. It's kind of like a Wahl-ish crown. It's just because it curves in here. It doesn't look like it's. Uh-oh. We got a screenshot here. Let's see. I don't know why it's not showing up. Well. Let's see. When was it? 56. Closed after Prohibition. Wow. That's pretty neat. I was gonna give it to a buddy of mine, but he probably doesn't want me giving him stuff, any more stuff, so I might just keep it. Who knows? But yeah, an eclipse. I don't know if that's an original. I'll have to look. That doesn't look like an original. I thought maybe I might keep this one, but because I do like some of the eclipse, but that's we got a nice early jotter. These are dirty. I haven't cleaned any of these up. Early jotter. It's got the round ball on it. '21 in green. Trough clip. I haven't checked for any cracks, but I didn't see any upon close examination. Got a nice Schaefer balance here. Got a number 3 nib. Should be a decent little rider. It's kind of slenderish. We got an Esterbrook transitional, 3-rib jewel. And actually a decent nib. For once, usually when I find them, they've got crappy nibs, and then I got to replace the nib. A nice looking 51, actually. It's clean. And by clean, I mean no dings, not this schmutz that's on here, but burgundy. And probably can be cleaned up just pretty easily. So we got that cooking. And then we got 2 vacuumatics. We've got a standard 3-band. Actually, it's got some transparency to it. Probably be better when we clean it out. 2-tone nib, which is nice. And speed line with speed line filler. This one's got striped barrel jewel and a black cap jewel. So that's kind of nice. And then this, I believe this is a long major. Copper pearl. This, we got the reverse. We've got a striped cap jewel and a black barrel jewel. Nice 2-tone nib on this one. Really nice. And we've got a kind of a standard filling unit on this one. So those were the spoils of war. From and then there were I got myself I picked up you know, you find tools at every estate sale, and this was like the one time I like, this is a cute little hammer for $1. I can't pass it up, and I will use this. I'm going to clean up the handle a little bit, but nice little hammer. So tuck that over there. Add that to my pile of stuff. And that's it. So we're going to do today, we're going to finish up the snorkel. Then we're going to start in on these 2 walls, which are kind of nice looking. And then if we have time left, we're going to go back to finishing these guys up. We can sack this Schaefer here, finish up this Eversharp, and we can actually probably test those 2, or we just test them all at once tomorrow. So we'll, oh, and we've got, actually, before we do this, sorry. I said we were going to look at some consignment pins, because I haven't seen them yet. So let's look at them now. So these just came in today. Lisa Anderson in the chat. Yeah, I do love that hammer. It's cute. Well, you know, the one I have is, you know, the heads are actually reasonably similar in size. It's a little bit bigger on this hammer. But this one is a threaded head on here, which is always annoying because it always loosens up on me. So we'll try it out. We'll put that up there. All right, let's take a look at these. I don't know. Nothing about these. So these just came in today. There's a note on here. Reverse thread. Oh yeah, that's weird. So this is a Mayfair. Yovo nib. Why is it reverse thread? That's so weird. Why would you do that? Huh. Interesting. It's got a comfortable section on it. Like Death said, you can never have too many hammers. Yeah, I know, right? The hammers for those pesky spiders that might fight back. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so this is interesting. I'm not familiar with this brand, but I guess we will be familiar. Reverse threaded. That's kind of freaking me out. And all these have like a box, so, or something. We got a Franklin Christoph. We got an O2 here. Look at that. O3. I'm sorry, O3. It's going to be the triad pen of the future. The reverse thread will lead to many being messed up. Yeah. That is a purple pen, isn't it? Maverick. I'm not familiar with this maker either. It looks kind of like a Frankenstein or something. Purple and green. Yeah, Franklin Christoph's great, isn't it? All right, comes in a little, like a feltish pouch. What do we got here? Shown Design Pocket 6. Well, that's cute. A little aluminum guy. Short. Cartridge only, obviously. A little shorty. Short with the big nib. I like that. It's fun. Definitely well made. What do we got here? Gravitas Rainbow Skittle. It's a nice little pouch. He's got a... Oh, look at this. Oh. Boy, that's nice. I like that. It's got a little bit of wear and tear there. Oh yeah, that's from posting. But it does post. That's kind of fun. Happy Monday, fruit jelly. All right, what else we got here? What is this? Benu Talisman. Wow, is that... That's sparkly. Just in time for Christmas. Always been intrigued by Sean Penn's Coeco Lilliput. No, that was Gravitas. This one here was a Gravitas, yeah. My tub of pens overfloweth. Excuse me for a second. All right. Moving right along. Retro 51. I'm going to just take this piece of tape off now that since it came off. You like Banu Banana? I've seen one that moves you enough to buy it. Their style is evolving in your direction, though. Yeah, some of the newer ones that they have come out with are a little more, I guess, normal for me. Ooh, stub nib, 1.1 stub on this retro. The pink. Okay. My Saul's down there. Here's another Gravitas. I like this one. Metal section. That post's really nice. That's really, really nice. I like that. Got all your weight really right in the right place. That's a pretty cool pen. Gravitas Ultim. Shown design. Here's another shown design. No piece of tape was spared in packing these up. That's for sure. Oh, wow. Okay. I like this. Look at that. Sorry, I got a piece of tape on my thumb. Got a little ink in there. That's cool. Cellular gravitas. I like that. That's neat with the metal section. Yeah, yeah. That is pretty cool. I do not need another modern pen. Oh, that's not true. I have a modern pen on my Christmas list. All right. There's more. A couple more. I'm not familiar with this either. Monty Winfield, Model 3. Ooh, that's bright. Big. This is chunky. Look at this baby. This is like Edison Collier size. Not super heavy. I like that cap band. That's pretty cool. So far, I like that shown the best. All right, what else we got in here? Leather and lathe. Here's another one I'm not familiar with. This one is all taped up, so taped and bubbled. This one got the treatment. Ooh, wow. That's some pink and gray. Sparkle. Look at that cool gray section. No clip, little clipless model. All right, two more. Oh, this one. This one I am familiar with. Because I used to sell this pen. Question is, what color is it going to be? Oh, the blue. Taja Spectrum. In blue. These nibs were made by Sailor, so this is a broad steel nib. I always liked these two-tone nibs. They always looked really great. And then they use a Sailor converter. You had written to Benu suggesting about having a line that would be more in line with business office use. They said they were thinking about that. Yeah. That. And last but not least, in the spirit of the week, no tape on this one, thankfully. Oh, that's pretty. So this is a 605. I think this one is, yeah, 605. Fine nib, white. Wow, that's pretty. That's really pretty in person. Really hard to see the hard to make it out on the camera, but complete with the box and all that jazz. All right, so those are well, that's a load of modern makers, isn't it? Couple of nice gravitas in there. I like those. The Shown, I like that Shown. This Shown the best, I think. That's an outstanding color, isn't it? That's just so great. Although that yellowish amber gravitas is cool. This is a cool case though. I like this. All right. So those will be available on the website at some point in the next few weeks. So I don't need this. If there's anything in there you got to have and you want first crack at it, hit me up there. If you're interested in that Gravitas PB, just shoot me an email. Let me know. I don't have pricing on any of it yet, so but if you want if anybody wants right of first refusal on anything, just shoot me an email and tell me which pens you're interested in, and then I will give you any viewer or listener will get first crack. How's that sound? I don't think it's going to be, probably not going to be in the next couple weeks. We're a little behind on a few things around here, so they'll kind of have a little bit of a back seat for at least a week or so. All right. We're going to try this snorkel today. And test her up, fill her up, and and hopefully get this one out. You've wanted to try a Gravitas, but I bought my modern pen for the rest of the year. I'm sure they won't last. Yeah, you got a nice one too. That's a really you got, and it's a real unique piece too that you got. So I'm going to hold off for Christmas, and I've got a Waterman Karen on my list, and we talked about it last week. All right, that will be probably my modern pen of the year. I think. I don't think I bought a modern pen this year. And I got to deal with this little butterfly here too at some point. We'll get to that later. We're just going to go straight to ink. I think this is going to be just fine. So I'm thinking that most of those pens are going to be very affordable. You know, aside from the 605, I don't think there's anything in there that's terribly, terribly expensive. They're essentially all Jovo sticks, right? But some really, really fun colors. The trick is not to get any more ink on this price band. Well, that's a nice writer. Yeah, medium nib. Okay. I think I need to we'll seal up the barrel. Twitch no longer supports Safari. Seems kind of dumb, doesn't it? You're gonna PFM this weekend for $5, Glenn? $5? You don't know where I'm going to wear the earrings that come with it. Okay, with earrings? Well, it feels nice. Nicely. Just told you it wouldn't work with your current browser, and I normally use Safari except on Japanese websites because Chrome supports inline translation better. I guess after I said that, I realized I don't really use Safari much anymore except on my phone. Let's spin this one out. We'll try not to do any damage to that label. The pen dealers are out in force online promoting the Esterbrook Peanuts pen starting today. Good luck with that. I'm sorry. I wish I had something better to say about it, but it's just not for me. Yeah, yeah, they're very disappointing. You're absolutely correct, Greg. Glenn, you got it at an auction for $5? Shipping will be $15. It's in the box with the pricing still in the pen. Original price was $5.95. You got it at a discount. It's not for you either, DRZ. You'd rather buy a nice black dollar pen, but are you in luck? Are you in luck? Boy, do I have something for you. Maybe like 30 somethings. Oh, you know what? I threw away that one piece. Well, that's awesome, Glenn. A PFM for a PFM under $75 is a steal. I can Brian can offer just not just one pen, but an entire collection. Yeah, I mean, what color do you want? What size? I probably have all three sizes available too. Random question: is there a dent in the cap of that butterfly pen, or your eyes playing tricks on you? No, you are absolutely correct. There is a dent. Probably easier to see down here. Yeah, and that's the only reason that this pen is in my junk drawer is because. Oh, and that's Canadian dollars. Okay, nice. Is because I didn't like the dent, and I have a client who I sold one to, a long time ago, and she loves it. And I think she wants to give one to somebody else. And I mentioned that I had this one, but I didn't think it was any good. And she's like, "Oh, well, that's fine." I said, "Well, let me look at it and make sure it's good, and I'll try to smooth out the dent a little bit." So that's why it's on the bench. I was like, "Are you sure?" I mean, it's, well, I mean, if you've got a, yeah, if you've got a cap, we could talk that you wanted to get rid of. That would be most appreciated. I've got to talk to you about a black tuckaway too, by the way. But she didn't, and she's been a real supporter. And I told her, I said, "Well, I don't want to sell you something that like that." And she says, "I don't care." She says, "It's just going to be a user." You're guessing the independent pen reviews will point out the functionality of the Peanuts pens and not say much about the look of it. I mean, what? I mean, how stupid of a review is that going to be, right? Oh, it writes great. It's a Yovo stick. Of course it writes great. Show me a Yovo stick that doesn't write reasonably well. Yeah. Yeah, it's, I thought they were already for sale because it wasn't, somebody was saying last week that they sold out in London. All right. Touch up this trim a little bit here. Not bad. The original box for it. Must have been a pencil at some point. All right, let's take a look at these. These just came in today. Nice green marble Wahl. Flexible nib. Quite a flexible nib on that one. Torque. Got the overfeed. Adjustable nib. So we're not going to try to adjust that because it should go up. It looks like it's in the downmost position, so it'll be most flexible where it's at. But on these, we're going to take a look real carefully at the sections to make sure that there's no issue. You have the barrel part, not the cap. Oh, it's a bummer. I can kind of get in there with this guy, and I can see if I can pop it out a little bit. Yeah, it was worth looking. I appreciate it. I really do. This is maybe one of my most favorite pens of all time, just because it's such. For me, it's just such a happy pen. So I think the rest of this pen is good to go. So we'll have to look at it. Yeah, yeah, you love them too. Yeah, yeah, and then you can get them with. Sometimes you get them with white sections. Sometimes they're pink. I think I've even seen them with maybe light green as well. It's just such a happy pen. I love it. Yeah, and there's a dent. There's actually a dent right here too. Right where the end of the clip pushes in. But yeah, then there's that nastiness. Thankfully, I guess it's on the back of the cap, so. Yeah, for an affordable user, I guess the price, the question becomes is what's the price for an affordable user, What should it be? He's got a gold nib, so these days anything with a gold nib should be at least $75. Oh, that came out way too easy. All right. Try to stop back later. Yeah, good luck with a nice swallow. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so this one's got a little bit of a. It's got kind of a swoop to the nib. I can't tell if it's intentional or if it was as it goes down and then it comes back up, but it's normally you see that after the feed. But it starts bending kind of at the end here. So it could be deliberate. Ad break coming up here in a couple of seconds, so if you need to grab something. Gold seal flexible. Sack is probably good. I'm going to step aside here for a second. I'll be right back. I'm on cup number 3 of coffee today, so I got in this morning, and the furnace thermostat was set still on cool, and it was like we had frost warnings last night, so it was 39 or something overnight, and it was like 45 degrees when we came in, and so it was 45 degrees, or I'm sorry, 58 degrees in the shop here this morning, and I turned the thermostat on to heat, and it's taken forever to heat this place up. So I don't know if it's not working or that's just how it is, or what. But so I decided to make. I told myself I wasn't going to make coffee every day, but here we are. Now that I'm just bringing water in because the water here is not all that great. Well, this sack here actually looks pretty decent. The other one was hardened. It was definitely hard, but of course we don't know how old this is. We'll replace it. Seems a little bit stiff on the end. Let's look at this real quick. So this has got the, this is super cool if you've never seen one of these before. The ever sharp and the double check on the overfeed, and then this should slide up, and you can see there's room here for this to slide up further, which would make the nib more firm, but it's clearly all the way in the back position. And usually what happens with these, a lot of times if you try to move them around a lot, the tabs break. And this actually looks like this might be. It kind of got a sterling appeal to it. Let's I think it'll be fine in the ultrasonic. All right, now I'm not going to put these caps in. We'll clean them manually, which could take forever. It's entirely possible. Let's just hope for the best. Well, this one's pretty inky. No. Now, it's got more of a traditional Z clip. The thing is you don't ever want to put this material in an ultrasonic, because if there is a, just because of its high propensity to crystallize, if there is even the remotest, smallest fissure in here, the cap will go into a million pieces. But we can do it manually. And then spin it out. That's just in the threads. But this is now much lighter, so well, I'm just gonna let it sit in there for a little bit. This one, on the other hand, is very clean. So, cleaner. Brush. Are the skylines the same material? No. No. Those you don't have to worry about. Except for the fact that they shrink, which I hate. Still got some schmutz in there. Any way to prevent shrinkage? No. Buy a new cap. Especially on the ones that's, especially on the gold fill caps. If the overlay spins on it, or if it doesn't tighten, if you haven't bought it, I would avoid buying it. Well, it's getting warm in here. Probably has to do with the coffee. Unless you got parts. But it's just going to be a pain in the butt. Like, I totally avoid, I avoid Skylines now that have any kind of shrinkage in the cap. If they've got an overlay in the cap. Or if you notice that the derby is loose. You need to make sure that you can tighten the derby. And it doesn't continue past the stop point. If you can do that, if you can get it where it's tight, you know, if you're tightening it up and then it gets tight and then you go a little bit further and it just loosens up again, then it's not a great cap. Derby, yeah, the part on the top. Here, let me show you. Hang on. So this is a much more simplified Skyline. Most of them that you see have the clip that goes up over the top. That's just an extra. This is an extension of this piece here, but this is the derby. This part here, and this unscrews. So if you go to tighten this, and like this is tight now. I can't really. Sometimes if I were to continue on with this, the threads would shift and it would be loose again, and I would just continue to keep tightening it. But that's the derby there, that part. Normally, there, like I say, normally the clip goes up and it connects on the back. But this is a lesser expensive model. Just happen to have, I don't know why that's sitting here. Oh, I know why it's sitting here. I found it in the parts bin, and I decided I needed to, I could clean it. All right, I'm going to try a little. A little bit of Dr. G's in there, and we'll see what that does. Now it's just below the breather holes, so. Just a minute here. Spin out this green cap. So I'm just seeing right now that this cap's got a stress fracture leading off the clip. If we were to put that, and it's starting to, and this, if you don't know what you're looking for here, I'll show you here in a second. You definitely do not want to put this cap in the ultrasonic. You see this change of color here, this translucency that's starting to happen. Well, it's different here than it is down here. And then there's this crack that goes up here. I wish this would just stay like this. Yeah, this is starting to craze. And I can see it on this side. If I look up close on this mark, you can start to see little areas where it's starting to form stress fractures. A good drop and this will break, and a second drop and it will shatter. So you have to be real careful. What's the difference between a bad crack and a decent crack? Well, there's no such thing as any good crack. I guess the difference is a decent crack is one that's still going to allow you to use the pen. It's not going to take away from the function. I wouldn't call that a bad crack yet, but I also wouldn't. I'd be very careful about the pocket clip's a little loose too. So I would be real careful about putting it in my pocket. Just because any flexing of that clip is going to put stress on that fracture, and it's going to make it bigger. And decent crack is also, you know, like a real tight hairline at the cap lip or something. You know, Esterbrook pastels have it all the time. You know, when you get a crack that goes up and then starts to turn and then takes another turn and comes back, you know, makes a question mark, those are bad cracks, you know. Not something you want to have. You want to be very careful about how you use them. You know, just even if they're in a padded case in your bag, if you know, if it gets jostled just the wrong way and enough shock to it, it's gonna potentially, you know, it could potentially expand and crack and just become yucky. So no crack is good, but You know, you definitely don't want them anywhere in the thread area. Or the section. Fuzzy, how are you? Happy Monday. That's a pretty looking nib. Hey, Ron, that's your wall, the deteriorating cap. I guess it will just lay in the cabinet. Look, no, you mean you can use it. Um, just be careful about putting it in your pocket. That's all. That's all I'm saying. The clip is loose, and when I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, we're not going to touch that with the 10-foot pole because I would rather you have a cap with a clip than a pen without a clip because it broken. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. You probably could use it, but you just have to be aware of it and be careful of it. It's not the worst crack I've seen. You're watching the Juicy Broads live stream. The first topic was about the Peanuts pens and not great ratings so far. Just jump down. What pens are these? These are two Wahls. We got a Doric and another Wahl here. We've got the adjustable nib on the Doric, which is pretty sweet. Morocco. It's not Morocco red. That would be the Esterbrook color. So I forget the vernacular for Wahl on the color names. All right. It's better to know now that there's an issue with the cap than to discover it at the wrong time. Yeah, adjustable. Yeah, just basically just like it. I'm not going to adjust it because they're notorious for breaking. But yeah, so this, you can see that there's a little bit of adjustment. This is adjusted all the way back. You could push this forward, and then it would no longer be. It would be less flexible. It'd be more firm. It's super cool. It's super cool. Now, Ron, I don't know if you just joined us. Your nib on this guy, I don't know if you can see it. He's got a little beak. It comes down and then it curves up a little bit. Yeah, it's a real pretty pen. Yeah. It goes down and then comes up. It's very evenly, and it's I don't have enough experience, seen enough of these to indicate whether or not this is bent or if it was made this way. But if it's bent very weirdly. The tines are in perfect alignment, so it leads me to believe that maybe it was actually manufactured this way. But I can't be 100% for certain. So I think we're just going to leave it. Especially since it's flexible. It could be bent. I just don't know. It's bent perfectly. It's a perfect bend. All right, let's find. You won't put it in your pocket. You're not sure I want to put it in the same tray with the other Dorics. Let's see. That had like a 16 and that one was a bigger one, but let's see if I like that. That looks good for the dork. Yeah. Let's try that. See will that fit. The barrel looks fine, so you don't have to worry about that. It's literally just the top, this top part here. And of course you can, I mean, you don't want to knock this around, but, I have Ester books like this that they'll be fine as long as you don't, absolutely don't drop it. Yeah. Yeah. We'll leave it. And sometimes that's kind of how I like to do it. If it's bent perfectly and you know, it's going to be more trouble than it's worth to try to straighten it out. I mean, if it's like if it's like this, that's a different story. Um, there's a good story about these. You put an email later. I look forward to it. I love stories. That's better. Any other folks affected by the AWS service disruption on the East Coast? Yeah. I was checking the status page every 15 minutes. I was thankful to get all my packages out, but the one package I really, I mean, it's okay if it goes out tomorrow, but I really need to get, I have a time sensitive package that I need to get out. And I just couldn't get it out. For a while there, I thought maybe that we were all good. And I was able to get my regular packages out, and then you forget, you don't realize how much you're affected by something like that until it goes down, and then everybody's affected by it. I had even had problems logging into Twitch. Now I don't know if they use AWS or not, but like I never had problems with that. On a fun day to be working there, that's for sure. Of course, I'm sure that Amazon Pay isn't working because I know I can't log into my Amazon Pay dashboard. So that's a single defining factor for people to use for a payment method, but people do use it. And if you're not in the know that AWS is down, Reddit's affected. Yeah. Um, people just think it's, your website. Ron, I just read your email. That's a good story. I like that. I don't know if you saw the beginning. This is the Saws. What a beautiful pen. It's really wonderful. Thank you. That's a funny story. I'm sure you're sure of those days when you're in IT. Well, there's the famous one that if Lisa were here, she would probably hit me for. When I went down to go visit Lisa for the first time, I told her I was the sole IT guy at my company. There was nobody else. I had no other minions. It was just me. We had, let's see, at the time, one, two, three, was it 3 or 4 locations? 4 locations throughout Wisconsin. And a couple of them were not close. And I forget the exact logistics, but I was supposed to meet her. I was supposed to fly down to Florida to see her on like Friday. And on Thursday, I decided I was chatting with my boss, who was a real good egg, a mentor. He's the type of boss he taught me a lot about being a good manager and a decent human being. And he looked at me one day, and he knew the workload was pretty bleak. As right before before Christmas, everything was running smoothly, tip top. And he says, why don't you just get out of here? Um, he says, why don't you just get out of here and go? Why don't you go down early? So I was thinking about it, and I'll surprise her. I'll surprise Lisa, and I'll come down a day early. And she hates me for this. Um, and yeah, it was a Thursday. And so she calls me or she messaged me and I say, listen, man, I'd love to chat, but I can't. I got a server down. Um, and and I got to rebuild it. It's a nightmare. I will call you later, but I gotta work on this because we got a lot of people who are not happy, and so all day long, and she'd check into me. She'd check in with me. Yep, server still. I'm working on it. I'll give you a call tonight. And all I'm doing is I'm making sure everybody's taken care of. Everybody's good to go. Whatever last minute problems are all good. Let everybody know. And I'm going to work remotely on Friday because I can do that. And provided there's no disaster, well, I mean, it wouldn't matter. I'd be in Florida. So I rearranged my flight so I could leave a day early. I got to pay an extra $100. And at the time we had this add-on in Facebook, and I don't even know if they do these anymore, but it was like a clock, and we shared this clock, and it was a countdown timer for when I was gonna arrive in Florida. And so I get on the plane in Appleton and I get to Chicago, and I call her as I'm walking through the airport, and I'm on my way to catch my next flight. And I said, hey, and she's like, oh, how you doing? I said, yeah, well, I got all the server problems taken care of. Everything's fine. It was a very stressful day. But would you take a look on Facebook and take a look at our countdown timer? Mine's not reading right. She goes, well, what says? Because that's weird. It says 3 hours ago. Yeah, I'll see you in 3 hours. Bye. Click. Yeah. So every once in a while, yeah, server's down. Yeah, shut up. She was mad because she had 3 hours to clean the house and get the kids ready. She's like, the next day she was giving a final exam for the end of the term to her students, and then she was going to clean the house and take care of things, and yeah, she had 3 hours, and she had the kids cleaning the bathrooms and the kitchen and all that stuff. So share the story, Vaughn. All right, so Ron says, let me read this here. These two pens, the Wahl and the Sauls here, were given to him by his friend, the late Steve Parsons. I don't know Steve, Ron. I don't know. Although the name sounds familiar, but I don't know. Says, I don't, know him, but Paul Arano, and I would meet for lunch occasionally. After lunch, we would go to a cigar shop where Steve and Paul would stink up the joint for an hour or so while we talked pens. When I got home, my wife would make me take off my clothes in the garage and jump in the shower. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. What a memory. That's cool. So, all right. So, all right. We're going to let those sit. We will take a look at those tomorrow. Finish those up. That guy is done. That's done. What do we got over here? All right, so I got a vac cap that's been soaking all weekend because I want to tighten it up. I'm just gonna continue letting it soak because it's just a problem. What we got? I think we did epoxy this. So we epoxied the feed on this just like we did that other Schaefer last or 2 weeks ago or whenever it was. And it's really imperceptible. It's really it's a good fix, really. Funny that I have to do it to 2. You can see it's right on that joint. So we should be able to put this nib unit back together. Yeah, we should be seeing Paul in gosh, less than a week from is it a week from Friday already? Is the Columbus, Ohio Pen Show? I know it's crazy, but I really do need a pen show. It's almost like a vacation for me. All right, Fuzzy. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. So the tricky part is we got to push this in, and the crack is literally right where I have to have the end of my pliers here. Which I'm not crazy about, but if we heat the section up, I mean, it's a solid fix, but I don't want to break it putting it in the last 2 millimeters. It doesn't look bad. I'd like to see it go in just a little bit more. Yeah, it's not going in. I think it's going to be fine. I would like to see it go a smidge lower, but we're going to put pressure right here where the crack was. I think that's okay. That looks just fine. Hi, Mark. Excellent idea for the stream. Thank you. Yeah, this I already sized to fit, so we don't have to cut that. Mm. All right, now this one we're gonna need before we. Got a little bit of the some sheen to it. Purple or bright blue of some sort. It didn't come off in the ultrasonic, so I'm gonna polish it off, and then we'll ultrasonic it, which will get the polish off. And I just don't like to see that sheen, because even though it's technically it is clean and it's good to go, it's not. I just don't like the way it looks. If you don't get it off now, it's going to be a lot harder to get off later. I get a chuckle when my phone rings here because I don't even know what the number is. I don't have it listed anywhere. So it can't be anything good if it rings. So we'll set the nib, and then we'll measure the sack, which I think actually we already pre-measured, and then we'll cut the breather tube. I think we already measured this. So I'm gonna try to put it this way. But first, we got a natural little bend to this here. So there's a little bit of room left at the end of the sack, so that this is perfect. We actually don't need to cut this. Which I'm a little surprised at, but got a little bit of a lilt to it, but it'll be pushed into place once it's in the barrel. Well, we could try the Waterman and the maybe Todd. Just for funds, though, while we're sitting here. This guy's been soaking for 3, 4, 5 days. We've already determined that the nib is shot, so we're not gonna. I doubt this is gonna open. Experience has told me that these Venus President autograph models were glued shut, sealed shut with something that just doesn't release. I could try naphtha. This is more of a practice effort than anything else at this point, because I don't know that I actually have a nib for it. You just got an email that Amazon issues causing portal problems with state portals. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people use AWS, that's for sure. I'm sure if I could get this open, we could find a steel nib for this, but there is a slight gap there. But the Amazon issue, it kind of makes you wonder what problems the Amazon delivery drivers are running into. I did get an Amazon delivery today. I don't think this is going to open. I really don't. All right, so this guy has been soaking for, I don't know, a week. Are we close to a week on this guy maybe already? Might as well try everything on Monday and see if it doesn't work. We throw it back in the water for next time. Just want it to move. All I have to do is tighten this up and this pen is done. I mean, even if I could just get it out with the screw, it would be a win. Let's do this. These guys we will test on tomorrow, Tuesday. So I'm going to get these out of the way. Try as hard as I might, and as much as I want these to work, uh, I don't find that they work all that well for me. Can't even really get a grip on it either. Sometimes you can get your fingernails kind of underneath and you can kind of grab it by the side, and if there's any good news, clip is now looser. Kind of a case of I hope it gets worse before it gets better kind of thing. There happens to be a little. It's nice when they're not quite perfect. If there's a little bit of a little scuff or a scratch or a little mark on it, because then you can see whether or not it's actually doing anything. It is not coming off. Starting to see things. I thought I saw it move. It did. All right. Well, heat's not working. Let's see if a little naphtha won't. Cover that up. It doesn't evaporate too quickly. Need that note anymore. All right. Kind of at the end of today. I guess I got 25 minutes ish. Okay, so I think I'll just wait till tomorrow to test these two pens. I guess I can put them together. Let's see. So this pen makes me nervous. I was told I was nuts to try to attempt to take this section out. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect pen, but it's not doing any good sitting in the parts bucket waiting for a perfect cap. Mm. It is a really tough material. The difficult ones are the most interesting. Yeah, sometimes. This is such a weird swan. I would have to talk to my. I got a friend who's a big swan collector. It looks like it's a super late model. Cheap trim. Yeah, so Mark, when I'm going off the screen, I've got a heat gun that I have off to the side here. If I have it over there, the mic doesn't pick it up as much. Um, yeah, it's literally a Wagner heat paint stripper, is what it is. Which I don't recommend for most people because unless you know, um, unless you're familiar with how much heat it really puts out, um, and how much heat you need to open things without them melting. It usually requires that you have melted something in the past because you've used too much heat. But yeah, this is just such a, I mean, it's a cool material, but then this clip and trim is just it's so poopy. I mean, look how cool that is. But this trim band couldn't be any uglier. This generic clip of a crappy lever. I'm going to put this one in just to keep it straight. Saw a list of like over 30 platforms that are having issues because of the Amazon. Yeah, I bet a lot of them are. You know, it's not supposed to go down, right? It's like ultra redundant. It's a little bit loose. We might shellac it tomorrow. Yeah, and this one too. This is a little bit loose. That was pretty firm. That one's good. So we'll shellac those sections after testing. See if we can shine up this little band here a little bit. A little better. All right, so let's see. All right, so we'll test these tomorrow. That'll be good. We've got Ron's walls that we'll assemble tomorrow and test. Those should be good. That we finished. See what else we got lying around here. We'll take a look at this ridiculous thing again. And I got I got a couple other pens here. I got a VS. How's my water filter working out? You know, it works better. So, I got water from the tap in the filter, and it is definitely better than water straight from the tap. However, I don't know if we chickened out or what the situation is, but we decided to just bring filtered water that was already filtered in a Brita from home, and then I'm just refiltering it here for some dumb reason, only because the pitcher that we got, when it fills up, I know that's exactly the amount of water I actually want to put in the coffee pot. So it kind of works out as a measuring device, but I just double filter it. So yeah, so the coffee is good now. But I'm gonna probably hit up the landlord for a little plumbing work at some point, because all the pipes are just kind of yucky. But yeah, so it's working out. At least we can make coffee and not have to worry about we're gonna die from inhaling something. I don't know, ingesting something nasty from the water supply. So, all right, I think we're gonna call it a day. I've got some Pelican Hub stuff I need to take care of, I guess. Apparently emails are not going out, which is not fun. But that, maybe even that's, who knows? We can blame everything on AWS, right? So, all right, well, there we go. Thanks everyone for tuning in today. Hope you all have a great evening, or a good afternoon, or good morning, or wherever you're at in the world. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Be kind, be well, and we'll catch you tomorrow. How's that sound? All right. Take care, everyone. Bye now.